We'll see if they can do so, sticking on the red side for game number 2. We get the Viego, the Maokai respect bans towards Shadow. It is also the Akali ban, the Lee Sin, the Elise, and the Vi. A lot of jungle bans this time around, and last time as well. But first pick for Zeri of Weibo.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like if NIP are going to be staying on red side, which obviously they are, the immediate adaptation just has to be that Elise gets banned. Or if they let Elise go through, then they have to snap up the Caitlyn in R1, R2. And we are getting the former, so with Elise gone, it forces Weibo to go towards the Zerian. Very fast ban, pick and ban phase again. NIP go with the Aphelios, plus this Wukong, the next best jungler available after the bans. And Weibo now start to lean into this team fighting, right? With the Sejuani, Zeri, Lulu. So now it's not going to be as high-paced as game number 1, but certainly with the team fighting tools and the engage tool over Sejuani, you expect Weibo to be proactively looking once those level 6s come online.
And NIP actually going into the second phase with a little bit of flexibility, having that Annie on the draft for them. It will be the Gnar focus, so top side, maybe some solo lane focus there. We'll see what Weibo want to ban away here.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be the same kind of stuff where it's going to be like Sion here for Weibo, and then I can't remember what the second bans were on either side, but I know that Weibo weren't really feeling the potential deal of a front line with all of the team fight draft that NIP had in the previous game. So NIP had the opportunity to go towards another Shy ban, which, if memory serves me right, at the very least they did. I just can't recall the champ. I'm really bad at that, you know, Michelle. I need to fix that.
Short-term memory.
It is short-term
bane
memory.
of all casters. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to lump everybody into the category with us.
I'm not going to do it.
It's just me and you, Jamada. It's just me and you. It will be the Cassante ban, actually, by NIP this time. So trying to focus down that top side matchup yet again, saying, you know, that invincible matchup actually went our way. Maybe we can try to find some more stability that way.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That says to me maybe that they're looking to snap up. I was going to say they're a Necton to deny it away from Weibo, but if you go the Kennen
it was
in this
banned
spot,
last time.
It was banned last time for one. Of course, Kennen, we're on 13-5, don't forget, so it's buffed Kennen. It kind of dissuades a pick like Jax or Renekton. You can still go into it 100%. It's just okay.
I love it.
I love it too. I just
let's go. This was banned. This was banned by NIP last game. They were scared of this in game number 1, and here it's locked in. We get the Tristana for Xiaohu.
Yeah, all right.
Or I guess in all reality, it could be Tristana for the Shy, but I would expect the Malphite to go on the top side.
Yeah, so would I. But you never know. Maybe Weibo are feeling like they're in a silly, goofy mood, and it is the Shy.
He's played Quinn. He's played Nidalee so far. You know, we don't rule anything out with them. But maybe a little bit of stability would do NIP well here, and they go with the Syndra.
Yeah, they do go with the Syndra, so that's just kind of a dissuading pick against the Tristana. If Tristana, you know, tries to start a rocket jump, just scatter the weaker backwards out of that, and you're all well and good. A little bit of pressure to deal with from level 6. I beg your pardon, once Casa is there and online. I feel like NIP have a lot of burst damage, but they don't really have a front line. And I feel like their engage tools are kind of limited and kind of restricted to, you know, flanks from Invincible, maybe Shadow as well. Whereas Weibo can kind of just go forward and press their R keys whenever they feel like it, between the Shy, between Casa. So I feel like there's a little bit more, you know, sort of, I don't know, ease of execution on the side of Weibo. But if NIP can find those flanks, right, and this is the thing about Kennen, having him in your draft, is even if you're quite far behind, all it takes is one big slicing maelstrom, and all of a sudden the game state gets reset.
I am wondering, the tools we'll see, the exhaust, maybe the buster shot actually from Xiaohu could be huge as well. But this mid-jungle duo, while we're looking at some of those carries, will be super important here. I know we're not going to get the same Elise-style carries matchup for Karsa, but Karsa on the Sejuani is still aggressive. He still wants to bruise Shadow. He still wants to get some advantages for Xiaohu and even Light maybe in the bottom side and really pull the team fight together later on, while Shadow on the other side is trying to just bridge the gap for his team to get into that late game team fight potential, giving him those flank opportunities for Invincible. But again, Weibo are on the brink of getting their playoff berth here in this series. So a 2-0 victory for them sets them up with a little bit of confidence.
I'm sorry to cut you off. What is that skin and why did it waddle like?
all the Malphite skins waddle, all right?
I know, but like, Like, why did it move side to side like that when it was running so quick? I apologize for derailing the seriousness of this game.
Is it the Lunar Guardian
what?
one?
Yeah, I think it's one of the really new
Yeah,
skins.
it's the Lunar Guardian one for sure.
Is the Shy
But
gonna
it's got a
sit here?
chroma on it, I think.
Mazel, if
Yes.
Invincible walks to lane, I think the Shy is gonna sit here,
Uh-oh.
queue him, and get mana flow, and then walk away. Well, he's not doing that. He's walking to the jungle.
Yep. Hey, you know, because you got a nice little squad of friends here for NIP, and they're all in pajamas. What do you think
True.
of that? Shadow's
also
actually going to go for a
ninjas.
little bit of vision. Yeah, they're also ninjas.
Okay.
That's a fact we don't need to tell as much because they're trying to be sneaky about it. Invincible, though, being sneaky, and also a ninja on the cannon, will actually
true.
not fall to the Shy's early cheese.
I've got to say, I mean, it's barely cheese. To be fair. He's gonna eat like 80 damage and then
It's
run
like
away.
it's like a mild cheddar, something you buy at your local grocery store.
It's like it's the cheddar doesn't even have mild. It just says cheddar. Like it doesn't even get to be mild. Yeah. Okay. So seriousness. If Weibo do win this game and subsequently the series, they will lock in playoffs, and that is huge. NIP, I guess with this loss in game 1, I don't think they're mathematically out of playoffs. That's something I didn't.
It says
check.
NIP are eliminated unless they get a 2-0, so they are mathematically
So
eliminated.
so they're mathematically locked out now. So there is the classic. Oh, doesn't get the stun, but he gets the shard proc there. There is, of course, now that burden lifted off you, where there is no pressure, Mazel. You are no longer, burdened with that small little thing we like to call hope. So now maybe this is the time.
I have a whole emporium of it. Do you want to come see?
Oh, okay. Oh, the Shy.
Okay, there's no hope.
There is no hope. He got creep blocked. That's not even his fault. What do you mean?
Mazel's Dark Hopium Emporium, the anti-Hopium Emporium. So I do want to say though, very different pace, obviously, than we were getting last game. Weibo went for a very down smash bottom lane, very aggressive jungle setup, where I was saying it could still be a pretty big bruiser for Karsa on the Sejuani. So far, we're waiting on those first clears to really come across, and I do want to see where Karsa wraps around to, because I expect full pressure from Karsa to be around mid lane.
Yeah. For our fighting game enthusiasts, this was like starting the game with 6H, like just the straight up, just heavy across the screen. In game 1, Weibo this time around.
I just hurt my neck trying to watch that go over my head. My neck hurts now, Jamada. I don't know.
Look, you made a fighting game reference. I also made one for the like 5 people.
I didn't make a fighting game reference on purpose. I've never played fighting games, I don't think.
But you said down smash, so I was like,
well,
oh,
yeah,
so
but that's just a gamer term now, right?
all right.
It's been used so much. I partake in some things. Oh, a little bit of Xiaohu action here. I'll partake in that. Nice little bit of damage from that explosive charge on the Dream.
Yeah, pretty good trade there for Xiaohu. We haven't seen junglers really attack a lane so far in this early couple of minutes, and I think that's just a lot to do with the draft and how everyone is really set up with one another. Now, Shadow's going to slip in this third brush. There is a ward in the second
should
one.
try to bait this.
Yeah, he definitely should.
Oh, okay. Yep. Will be spotted out on that. The Shy able to bait out a little bit more time from Shadow here. He might actually step up to try to get a cancel there, but you actually have Karsa coming up the lane right here, and that's a late back cancel onto the Shadow. Actually saw Karsa back away as soon as that connected. I'm wondering if Karsa wanted to try to make something happen there.
Yeah, seems like the answer is no. And they will just turn back to base. I feel like if they... this is a pretty big if, because I feel like top lane, especially if you've got Malphite on the top side, doesn't really get much attention. If they want to murder Invincible, they kind of can do it on cooldown. One thing I do want to know is that Shy just based and purchased the Darkseer. So I'm not entirely sure whether this is even going to be like, tank Malphite. Just because it's the Shy.
They were probably highlighting the Dark Seal. I'm gonna say they were highlighting the Waddle again, just because that's where my brain went, and it was not thinking, oh, the Dark Seal, interesting. No, it was He's waddling again. They're focusing him. But we do have to see if that's going to pan out for the Shy. Obviously, a little bit of a bend and break situation there. But Karsa clearing out some vision, does have Crisp on a roam. They should be able to play pretty heavily.
Yeah, just playing as a duo, getting information. Weibo with 2 AD carries in the solo lanes and a Malphite aren't really looking for too many, proactive lanes towards, proactive plays toward the lanes rather. More just windows of opportunity to sneak away information, and in this case, grab a dragon. So they'll do just that. It doesn't really seem like NIP are either A, in a position to contest, or B, even bothered about it. So they will just let that one go. As, again, level 6s have been hit. And Invincible's in lethal range!
He wants a little bit of solo bolo action for himself. Giga Shy activated!
Oh, I was just about to set it up, but the Shy's faster than I can speak. As soon as he hit that QE, Invincible was 100% in a position to get solo killed. And the Shy gets some
this
revenge.
is the combo! This is literally what they've been trying to set up, and the explosive charge, it's enough! No!
Oh.
Xiaohu barely unable to get that math counter hammer. And Weibo, a strike in mid lane, do get the flash, but Dream survives.
Oh no, I don't think he's gonna get his base off,
Oh,
is he?
he stopped his back, yeah.
Oh my
Damn, he's
God.
staring at Shadow, I don't know. Shadow, if you want that smoke, should be Shadow walking out.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna ask you, as technically my, not technically, my senior and my play-by-play, how memey do we get to get? Because this was pretty bomber. This was the Shy is mad and very rock solid.
Yes, he is very rock solid. Let's just stick with that one, because my goodness. And we were talking about the Dark Seal. Well, he gets 2 stacks now, so at least he's on the way with that one. Lightning Crash from Light in the bottom lane. That'll be flash burn out of Zhuo, as well as his heal.
Yeah, not bad. Both summon spells. Maybe this makes him a target for this potential dive, which is being set up here. And Shadow coming out of base right now. He's not going to be here for another 15-20 seconds, but Weibo keeping the pace light. No pun intended. And they aren't correct.
I tried.
I didn't even mean it. As soon
There's
as
a
I
really
said it, I was
crisp
like,
light on shining on the bottom lane, all right? It's just really visible.
Very true. That's 2 plates in that single push there. And that all comes off that 2v2
at this point,
trade.
plates are just easy money for Weibo. In 2 games, right, they've been able to push very heavily bot lane in lane. We'll see if Light gets punished now. Those chakrams have been stacked up. Not able to get in the distance there.
Yeah, a little bit too quick. Now, on the top side, Weibo will continue their collection here of the neutral objectives. As NIP, at the very least, they will force Crisp and Light back. But for now, they're not going to be missing out on too much in the immediate future. Plus, they're up a wave already in CS, so don't feel too bad. Crisp had his flash
Second
bone
out here
actually
roaming
off-screen.
down here.
Yeah, so this is the problem. Now it becomes a 4v2. That's when things get a little bit scary. Naturally.
Step down.
Yeah.
Here comes
Shadow's
Shadow.
over the wall now.
They're going to pull
And
the
he just
trigger on
got
this. They
6.
need to try to clear the wave if they can. See if Weibo, that's a TP down from Xiaohu. Falling more onto Shadow. It actually is NIP running away now. Invincible by himself. Almost getting undertowered by the Shy. He has the unstoppable force. All he needs is one big combo. But Flash is up on both sides. Invincible should run away.
I can't take this lane seriously.
There was a flash?
Anytime you looked. Yeah. Crisp had to flash off screen. Anytime you pan towards this top side of the map, I just passively kind of grin to myself. You probably hear it in my voice.
Rock solid.
Rock solid.
Hear that over and over again.
Yeah.
I hear it in my sleep.
No. Green doesn't have flash. That didn't knock up.
That was actually a really nice little knockback.
Yeah.
Barely disconnecting the Arctic Assault. There is a Rift Herald in tow now for Weibo, though. You've got to watch where they're going to drop that gold. Now, Light having gone to the mid lane after so much pressure in the bottom side. Xiaohu should be able to just clear those plates up.
So I actually
See,
think
they are focusing the waddle.
They are 100%. Now, I actually think that they've swapped Xiaohu down here because he's,
he can get these plates easy.
And he can pick up plates really simply. The only issue is if he gets forced back far enough, this might not. No, he's hit the tower. Yeah, he's hit the tower. So, at the very least, they'll get there. But now, the 2v2 of Light and Crisp actually get first move from mid lane as well as another plate. Well played, Light. Holy moly. So, if they really want to, they could continue to rotate down to the bottom side as a duo.
How important is this
or a
dragon
trio.
stacking stop from NIP? It's early. I don't know if they want to. It looks like they want to position around it.
I think that the team fighting is explosive enough that if they don't feel confident to step up now, they can step up a third dragon. I don't feel like there's any immediate pressure for them to go and contest it, but it wouldn't hurt. But it would hurt if they lost the fight. So I think probably waiting until they actually hit a couple of item breakpoints, right? Things like Ludens for Dream on the Syndra or Rocket Belt for Invincible. You have a much better fighting chance of immediately winning those team fights compared to fighting right now where you don't have lane priority and you're going to be second to the punch. And the setup generally just isn't going to be as positive. At the very least, if you wait, even if the setup isn't positive, you've got stronger champions to work.
See if that time is going to be of the essence. Weibo will push in, get engaged on actually with the double cyclone. A lot of damage on the Chris, but the wild growth comes straight through. Xiaohu was actually starting to do a lot onto Shadow. See them actually go ahead and start up this dragon. So not too bad from NIP to get the pressure off on the Weibo, but now they got to be a bit careful for a Karsa steal.
Yep, they do. Karsa over the wall. Doesn't have information. Get it now. He wants it.
There he goes. He's in the pit. He gets it. Shadow early smites it. Karsa will punish that 10 out of 10. And Weibo get their second dragon of the game. See if Light wants to hunt anything down as the Infernal Rift takes over.
Infernal here. Things are on fire from the side of NIP. Get that dragon stolen away, and it's such a shame.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. You idiot. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame too because that setup was really, really nice for NIP, right? They get the almost pick onto Crisp, they force him back, but they use 2 ultimates to do it, right? And that's the big thing. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Is he gonna go for it? He did. I just said. Did he get it? He did get it last time. He's taking so many tower shots. Like, can I get the math calculation? He's like doing the looks at the unsolvable first. Like, okay, math.
Like, you know how they always say, like, you went to school to do maths and like it was pretty pointless after like 5th or 6th grade.
Like the 50 pineapples in a cart thing.
Yeah.
Like,
this is when it's actually useful. Is what the Shy said. He just
this is what they've been training for you.
So x equals 3, and if I wait 7 seconds and I've got 7 apples in my pocket,
I can get solo kills.
I can get a solo kill.
That would be a math problem with us, but it makes absolutely no sense. Apples to solo kills in League of Legends, I think it works, but the Shy is definitely a partaker as he wanted a bit of revenge on Invincible from last game.
Yeah, and I would also just like to highlight that the Shy is going Night Monster, or Everfrost.
He is.
Whichever one it's going to be, I don't know yet. Actually, no, Everfrost doesn't build out all there, does it? What's the other one I'm thinking of? It's Rocket Belts.
I would love to see the Night. We'll see what he actually wants to go. He does have ulti up, and Karsa is hovering. There's a hungry Poro looking for Invincible.
Mazel, I'm not even going to say to set this up. Invincible's dead.
Let's see if you're right. He does get blocked out, and he's not right.
Wow.
Shamana, you're wrong.
I thought they had
that's like 3 times across the table in almost every lane that there's been like a sub 100 health bar.
Yeah. I've got to say, I'm actually more surprised that Invincible got out of that dive alive, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Invincible completed Rocket Bell first. Who really wins?
True. Yeah. It's the little things in a series like this. This is the second tower here for Weibo. And things feel pretty positive from their perspective. If you're a Weibo fan, I'm sure you're feeling quite happy about this performance. Invincible.
Oh, no. Okay, Xiaohu gonna go straight in on Invincible. He doesn't have any tools, but his flash, the rocket jumps bring Xiaohu a little bit closer. He doesn't have the damage just yet. Hasn't completed that first item.
Yeah, that Rocket Belt, just to get him far enough away from getting Goomba stomped by the rocket jump and receiving the slow, could have just saved his life. So I think then Xiaohu has the damage and the time to run him down. Won't quite happen this time around. Weibo trying to force a little bit of priority around this second Herald here, but for now it's in the control of NIP.
The Shy's ulti is coming up. I think he's going to hover Dream and wait for it. Okay, he doesn't have that first item completion yet, so at least maybe being a little bit more hesitant. They will push Shadow out of this Rift Herald, though, and Karsa should be able to take the second one of the game, and this is 100% objective control from Weibo.
Yep, absolutely is. I mean, you're dealing with Malphite, who's got a substantial amount of AP at this stage in the game. And I say substantial because typically, Malphites in the top lane, they don't have a lot of AP, ever. So, even having the Oanea and the Lost Chapter is enough to make you scared. He's got 121 AP, and you have to remember his ratios are really high. So he is just going to
a lot of squishy members on NIP too, at least for now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to mention. It's something, I can't remember who the analyst was, but they were championing Malphite.
It's
He's got a crown.
Yo, Giga Shy truly is unlocked when he goes crown on Malphite. Let's go.
That's actually really smart into this comp though, because you think about the amount of burst damage that NIP have. Yeah, like if you don't get it popped before you go in, not only are you gonna go in and, you know, bomb the backline, but then you're basically invincible for like 3 seconds.
Hey, he's on NIP's side, okay?
Oh yeah, true. My
I do want to see that, because the thing that's been worrying me, and the thing I think Deshai's been so hesitant about going all in on do Invincible, has been just the fact that as he sees the animation coming in, you can pop your Maelstrom, and that's an instant stun going to go down on the Shy. But now with the crown, it gives the Shy a little bit of breathing room in that moment. And now that we see the Kraken Slayer completed for Xiaohu, there's going to be a collapse over mid lane right now. And here he comes. Light going to go in preemptively. The Glacial Prison insta-cleansed by Photic. The Weibo won't be able to catch anything just now, but there will be a couple Summoner spells burned, at least across the trio for NIP.
The only reason right now why NIP aren't dead is because our Lord and Savior the Shy wanted to pick up that ward on the top side, so he stopped for a brief moment.
The Shy's looking. It's so funny. That's one thing I love about Malphites. When you know they want to ult, you can just see it. You like literally in their moves, like, I'm gonna go walk up here.
It's about the
I have a gigantic range. But speaking of Xiaohu, a range of a rocket jump is more than NIP can handle. And Weibo now looking for it. Invincible tries to go in, flashes for it. That's a nice big stun. Moonlight Vigil on top of everybody, but it does not matter as Weibo slammed the door in NIP's engaged face. And they should be able to make this one out of here. You do have the red and blue gun from Photic, a little bit of AoE. Don't think Weibo can get this dragon now that Kars is gone.
Yeah, he's just standing there.
Menacingly.
I mean, NIP's engage is so good, man, but they're just not at a stage where that kind of turnaround results in multiple members dying.
This was such a good moment, though.
Yeah, onto Xiaohu, really, really powerful. Flash forward, the Cyclone almost connects. Doesn't actually have a trigger pulled just yet, but it's about this turnaround.
This is where he knew.
Yeah.
The whole meme, this is where I'm just going to stop it from there, because my God, when you're flashing like that, I feel like you're going a little ham.
Yeah, but you can't really blame NIP for trying at this.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Shadow's gone. And Dragon out on the table for Weibo. He is a Shadow.
Yeah. It's just third dragon. Pick up there.
Ulti's coming up for the Shy. He has another Hextech Alternator. More damage. 4 stacks on the Dark Seal. Huge stuff, but really huge stuff from Weibo, because while we have a big lead here for them, 7,000 gold in that advantage, this is Weibo's day. This is one of the teams that are bound to lock in playoffs tonight, and they needed to win this series whole-handedly. They needed a confidence boost to finish out their season strong against WE, against RA, and to make sure that they're joining the upper echelon of our teams here in the LPL, and as they rightfully should.
Absolutely. And this is the Weibo. This is the kind of Weibo that was promised. You know? The Shy being a memester in the top lane. Xiaohu and Kasa a really, really dominant 2v2 mid jungle. And Light and Crisp a very dependable and reliant 2v2 in the bottom side. Winning out in this matchup against Photic and Zhuo pretty whole-handedly, even without Kasa's assistance. Like, it was pretty much ever-present in game number 1. And this is the playoffs, or this is the kind of playoff side that you would be terrified to go against, right? So hopefully, for Weibo's sake, and hell, for the sake of competitiveness in the LPL, they can maintain this level of performance, as seems like focus could just be in and around the Baron now. They want to deny as much vision as they can from the top side.
Yeah.
Just
will
ensure
say,
that NIP
though,
are walking in blind.
has not been an easy road for Weibo, right? Like, they still have 2 series left after this one, but specifically, they have not passed the test when you're facing up against the upper echelon teams. And while we expect a performance like this from them, it is still that question mark that comes in if you're not finishing the season strong and you're not finding the ways to kind of bridge those gaps that you had against those top teams.
Yeah, I do agree, because when you do kind of zoom out, right, I think whilst 8-5 right now, looking like 9-5, and we'll see where they finish with the remainder of their schedule being on the easier side for a lot of teams at their score. You know, at the end of the day, they have lost to the top two teams in the league when a lot of people had Weibo pegged as potentially, you know, sort of second, maybe even first, depending on the ceiling and how this roster worked out. Now, 2 ultimates used there as bottom side. Yeah, Invincible almost gets solo killed by Xiaohu, so the pressure continues to mount.
Does indeed, and this tier 2 tower will fall to Weibo. I wonder if they go for the engage. I mean, the NIP are grouped up, and I think the Shy is hungry. They're going to TP in now. Shadow going forward with the Cyclones, but he's already taken down. Now Light's feeling himself. The power unleashed just did literally nothing to Light. And that is the power of WeiboGaming in Game 2 of this series. That is a triple for Light. The Shy flexing his muscles with an unstoppable force. And Weibo will down smash NIP. And they will lock themselves in to our LPL playoffs.
I would say the Shy is standing there menacingly. It's the whole damn Weibo lineup. And NIP could not do anything here tonight. It has been one-sided. It has been a butcher house.
It's a quick night.
NIP have walked wholeheartedly into it. And Weibo will lock themselves playoffs here. The 2-0 scoreline on the night.
Congratulations to WeiboGaming, able to lock in those playoffs with a 2-win streak here and a domineering victory over NIP. Where NIP are now out of playoffs after their first loss in this series. It definitely is a little bit of a sore note for them, where they were coming in with a bit of a changed attitude the last 3 series, changed pieces. Why you see a little bit of friendliness there. It is a tough situation for NIP, but a glorious one for Weibo.
Absolutely it is. Weibo moving into playoffs, and I think, you know, there were probably a couple of concerns around where exactly Weibo would finish, as a couple of the losses started to mount halfway through the split. But right now, sat and not necessarily locked in hard in 4th place. I beg your pardon, but for now, 4th place, right? And I think that's just important for them, plain and simple, because I feel like for a majority of us watching the Weibo lineup throughout the split, the expectations were so high, it felt like that meeting that bar was always going to be quite difficult, but they still weren't quite meeting that slightly more reasonable bar. But again, here, this is the Weibo that most people were expecting coming into spring.
Yeah. And Karsa obviously getting a little bit of a leg up on his old org in V5, now NIP. And really the team solidifying. I will say, still question marks for the Shy. He did bounce back in that game too with the Malphite pick, his first of the season as well. And really a great performance in that time. But man, game number 1, getting solo killed twice by Invincible. I think you give props to Invincible for that one. And